Welcome. It is just about to turn the hour, and so I thought I would jump on a few seconds early just to make sure I've got all my bits and pieces in line. So as people find their places, find their seats, turn off your notifications and put your phones to the sides, I welcome you all to this week's live Q&A session here on the New Zealand Health and Safety Professionals Facebook group. Formed back in 2016, early 2017 as a bit of an idea, thanks to a conversation across a coffee shop table with my old mate Jen Dransfield, who is now currently working at Naylor Love and doing some amazing mahi at the Canterbury Cathedral Recovery Project. And we talked about the idea or the need for a place to share ideas and those pain points, a place for health and safety practitioners to simply get together and hang out and share those war stories and be part of a community. And so I formed the NZHSP initially on the LinkedIn group way back when, and within a couple of months we were up to 300 members. Fast forward to today, we are sitting on around about 1,700 members on LinkedIn and a very similar number here on Facebook. Add that up, it's about 3,250 members all up on both between both of the platforms, which is just phenomenal. So what I have challenged myself to do is to provide you all with this forum on a weekly basis, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. until 2:30. Is a opportunity to ask you questions and to perhaps find out more about recent news items. And I'm also going to be bundling this all into a neat package in a way. What I'm going to do is theme each month around the workplace health and safety management system and the ISO 45001 framework. Basically, I'm just trying to provide you all with as much insights and advice that I possibly can to make us collectively the very best health and safety practitioners we can be, because New Zealand needs us, and ultimately we are our very best line of defense when it comes to health and safety best practice in New Zealand, right? So if it's not us, then who ultimately? And so that's my call to action. That's why I'm doing this. So before I start rattling off on today's subject matter, I'll introduce that in a moment. I would like to give you the opportunity to say hello in the comments. Let me know if you are tuning in on this live feed right now by just simply typing in live, and maybe where you're calling in from as well would be really, really cool to know. Those who are watching the replay, if you can do the same, simply type in replay and let us know whereabouts in New Zealand you are typing in from. G'day Gary, are you in Auckland today or are you in good old Chichu? Let us know. The reason why? Well, I want to just encourage a little bit more two-way conversation. I know it's all a bit kind of one way with this camera, but I am trying to ensure that you all have the opportunity to engage and participate in these 30-minute sessions. G'day Joy, I know you're coming in from Christchurch. Welcome, it's really lovely to have you here. Let's go grab a swig of water. Okay. Hey Shelley, oh the mighty Waikato, awesome. Rotorua, hey Judith, lovely to have you here. Jeff Rangiora, yay. Hey Jeff, congratulations on the new website. It looks amazing. Definitely recommend everyone go and check out Jeff's new amazing website. Jeff, feel free to put in a link in the comments directly to your website for people to check out. It looks phenomenal. Congratulations. Judith, welcome. So for those, hello, Daipong McLevel, nice to have you here, my friend. Yeah, let me know where you're tuning in from. Always interested to see whereabouts on the map you guys are placed. All right. Oh, mighty Ashburton, good to have you here, Randall. Good to see you, buddy. I hope things are going well at your end. Awesome. All right. Good man, Jeff. All right, there's Jeff's link to his amazing website. Try not to get distracted during this live 30-minute session. Perhaps right click, open it in another tab, and then have a look at that after this session. Okay, so I have committed to today to talk about three things because I'm trying to squeeze in as much as possible during this session, right? The first thing is how to make a bigger impact with the senior leadership team and the board. How do we engage them and get them inspired to enable us to go off and do what needs to be done? The second topic I wanted to touch on was artificial intelligence and the role that health and safety practitioners have to play now that we find ourselves in this new emerging space where on one hand people are freaking out thinking that this is the end of the world, and on the other hand people are proclaiming this to be nirvana, and we basically need to put our feet up and all work will be taken care of. It's trying to find that middle ground. Speaking with the likes of Hilary Walton in my most recent interview on the Health and Safety Unplugged podcast. If you haven't seen it, get onto it. We talk extensively about the role of artificial intelligence and what that is going to mean for the health and safety community. So I'm going to touch on some of the top points from that in this session. And then last but not least, what it takes to inspire business leaders in general. Slightly different to the senior leadership team and board. So I'm going to unpack all of that over the next 20 minutes. So lots to cover and lots of ideas. A lot of the content that I'm talking to today, I'm sharing pretty much on a daily basis these days on LinkedIn, my thoughts in this high level health and safety thinking. So by all means, if you're not already, feel free to follow me on LinkedIn. I'm producing tons of content in that space. For those of you who are joining us, please feel free to let us know where you're from, say hello in the comments, and I'll give you a shout out as we go. Cool. All right. So the reason why I've picked these topics, one is they're clearly front of mind at the moment, right? So winning the hearts and minds of the leaders in your businesses and within your organizations, maybe for the companies that you work with, and how we can make the very most out of this emerging thing called artificial intelligence. I think are really, really timely topics, but also, as I alluded to at the beginning of this, is I'm over the next 6 to 7 months, I'm going to be breaking down piece by piece the implementation of a workplace health and safety management plan. It's going to be aligned to the ISO 45001 framework. So today, one of the key reasons why I'm focusing in on winning the hearts and minds of senior leaders is, welcome Jeff, it's great to have you here, Mighty Christchurch, yes. Dave Pinchin, Safety Lab NZ. Hey Dave, I'm assuming you are in Auckland today, or are you on the road? I'm really enjoying watching your roving stories on LinkedIn, mate. You're doing great. So the reason why I've picked the topics around getting a bigger impact and being able to win hearts and minds of senior leaders is this is taking it right back to the very beginning of the process. So imagine being a health and safety manager, advisor, coordinator, or a consultant, and you are trying to win the hearts and minds of the business leaders to get their heads around the idea that having a health and safety management system refreshed, perhaps aligned to ISO 45001 or another similar standard, is a good idea. And often what seems like a really simple slam dunk win can actually be a really challenging thing to try and get over the line. I'm sure some of you guys have probably experienced this, perhaps even now or even in the past, where you've got a great concept, a great idea, but you can't quite get it over the line with the powers that be. And so that's one of the things I wanted to unpack today. So again, let me know in the comments, is this something that you have had to deal with in the past? If so, what were some of the things that enabled you to get it over the line? Or is this something that, yeah, I'm feeling it right now, Matt, like this is exactly what I'm experiencing right now? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you can, share some of your experiences, maybe perhaps some of the things that have enabled you to get it over the line. Or if you are comfortable enough, feel free to share some of your horror stories too. I'll speak to those and help to try and unpack perhaps some of the things that it might take to get it over the line. Ollie Hunger, yeah, nice man, mate. I look after a couple of sites in that area. One of them is with, I don't remember the name. It's a Colmar project. It's a residential apartments. Ollie Hunger is just going off. I think that's going to be the place to be in the next couple of years. Hopefully the weather's good for you out there. All right. So, winning hearts and minds, making a bigger impact with the senior leadership team and the board and executive. So how do we kick this off? I'm just going to walk you through 3 or 4 of my top things that have worked really, really well for me in the past. So the first thing is around generating trust and generating a level of transparency that enables the powers that be to feel confident and comfortable in your skills and the direction in which you are trying to steer them in. So how do we do that? Well, one of the things is by being honest. I have seen over the years health and safety reports written by others who have all the best intentions in the world, but unfortunately those reports tend to be what I describe as sunshine reports, that everything is great, because if it's not, that means I'm failing in my role. And so looking at some of those health and safety reports, looking at the data and the way in which truth is being stretched to make it seem like all is well and the business is going in the right direction, is not our role. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to sometimes challenge and confront, and we can only do that if we are transparent with the data and that we are honest with ourselves and with the people that we are reporting to. Now, it may not necessarily mean that they like what they hear, but if they are good leaders and if they are sitting in those seats because they have earned the right to sit in those seats, they should be receptive to the information that you're providing them, particularly if you are upfront and you have a really healthy dose of authenticity in your approach. We also need to rely on the data as well. So the data doesn't lie, okay? So you need to be confident that the information that you are getting in is accurate, is valuable, and that you can rely on it and speak based on the information that you have gathered. The other thing is to empower through that data, right? So what I mean by that is being able to use the data and make it visually appealing. Really good way, a good example of what